I think, do you mind if I just share?
I'm I'm all for it. I'm ready.
So I have had like health issues my whole life. Kind of my first diagnosis was endometriosis when I was 13.
Oh, that's hard.
And, yes, and then at 15, eosinophilic gastroenteritis, so multiple autoimmune in my gut things. Um, I kind of got turned on to holistic health because so much of, they just didn't, EGIDS is a rare disease. It seems like there's more and more now. Mast cell disease is a rare disease, and that again seems like there's more and more now. And so I kind of went in this lifelong quest of really trying to do everything I could to be healthy naturally. And
Right.
what hit me the past couple of years is it's impossible in our current environment to do. It's like when I was young, it was kind of like, well, eat organic, do these diets, do these
Right.
supplements, do these, alternative. And there's some amazing alternative therapies. Like I do red light now that helps me a ton. Um, but I believe that in our current environment, that what the world is in, what nature, like we just look at nature, which we are nature,
Hmm.
and so many we grew up in a culture that was like we were humans and nature was nature. It was like on outside,
Right.
you know,
Yeah. Disconnect.
but we are actually a part of nature.
Hmm.
And the world is on fire right now. It's literally on fire.
Yeah,
And some of us,
see it.
it's in our body too.
Mm.
And I'm one of those people. And I just got diagnosed with another, with rheumatoid arthritis, pretty severe, a month ago.
Oh man.
And so, and stacked on top of all the other, issues that I've dealt with my whole life. And this one it felt like a fatal blow, kind of, it was tough.
Mm.
Um, and, and I just have been in this place of where I look outside, I look at what's going on. I'm like, I can't heal me alone. There's no way in the world I could do enough of the right things to not be sick because my water, my air, my soil, the environment that I live in, the
Hmm.
culture all around me is really designed for it is inflammatory.
Right.
And that inflammation, and we're talking, over 100 years ago when the AMA, the American Medical Association, was formed, and the laws around that and all this, it's been over time, we're stuck in the cycle of where greed and just some really sick people are
Hmm.
controlling the world. And this has become in the past, this has become so apparent, so apparent recently. Although it was sort of under the surface for a while, but now it seems like it's really being
It's
exposed.
coming to the light.
Yeah, and I was raised in an abusive religious cult. So
Oh,
I'm oh yeah, that's like a whole other kind of thing, a whole other
what
branch.
was it, if you don't mind me asking?
It was actually not a big one. It was just a small one called Countryside Christian Community. It was located in Missouri, and it was
Doesn't
one of
even sound
those,
dangerous.
oh no,
That's
oh,
scary.
oh, it was started by my grandfather,
Oh,
and whenever I finally, came out of that and broke free from that, it took years. It was such a process because of brainwashing.
there's such an undoing. Even now, after all these years, I still have certain things that are like indoctrinated in my subconscious where I'm like, what?
Yeah,
How?
it just pops out out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
something pops out and you're like, oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. I didn't unlearn that one yet, did I?
Yeah, rewire that.
Yeah, I think it happened literally like in the past week and I said something And I realized like that I had this feeling of sin shame
Mm-hmm.
about something, and I was like, wow, I still have that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of work, honestly. It's not as easy as a lot of people would like to think it is. And even those of us who don't even have like an extensive Christian background or religious background, when you're in it since you're a child, that
Yeah.
indoctrination got in when you were
Oh,
in your
yeah.
formative years,
It's
and
and we
it's
were
hard to
very
undo.
secluded, in my childhood, and there is types of abuse that are, it's the love and abuse. Uh,
Uh-huh, which makes it confusing.
Very confusing. And so the complex PTSD from that has it, I don't know if it ever goes away.
I don't know if it does, but I know that you can heal. I just feel like at this point I've had so much of it for so many years that it's almost like you just kind of learn to navigate and do your best.
Yeah, yeah. I feel that a lot of what I do is somewhat birthed from that, because I
Hmm.
do have quite a capacity that, a lot of people don't have.
A lot
Um,
of these, sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
talk
go
over you.
ahead. Go ahead.
I'm just called to say a lot of these things that we experience, even though they are traumas or whatever the label you want to give them, usually that, but are always seeming to be the catalyst for our us as healers to come into whatever it is we're supposed to do in this life. And I feel like one most important thing that needs to be said on that is besides that part and side by side with that is it's what we do with the knowledge that we gain when we learn that part. When we learn like, oh, I went through that because I needed to I needed to experience this to be the catalyst to come into all this knowledge and experience and wisdom. And then now what do I do with it? A lot of people get stuck in the translation or in the trauma or in the hurt, and they don't go into the, oh, I was supposed to learn this stuff and have these experiences so that I can help other people and then apply it to what am I supposed to do? And now I'm going to do this work. And now I'm going to consistently show up and do this helping people work, whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing. And that's the most simple way that I can put it. But it really is very common for people to get stuck in the trauma aspect of it and then start drinking heavily, smoking weed, and to the capacity where they can't move past it, taking pharmaceutical
Recycle.
medications,
Yeah.
and so that's really important for people to hear is that you do go through these experiences and they are a catalyst, but it's what you do with the experience. If it's on your heart to become a healer or to do something helpful with the experience you had and utilize it to help other people, you have to push yourself through the trauma in order to get to the other side where you can, which means you have to heal you
Yeah.
and then you can heal other people.
I feel like my job is 90% healing me and like maybe 10% talking to other people about it.
But you can share your experience of what you do for you, and that helps other people. So that's the thing.
And sometimes it seems like, with the health stuff and the trauma stuff and like my own family, sometimes I feel like I spend a good part of my day just keeping myself here. You
I
know,
get I get that in more ways than you understand.
I bet. I But then I'm like, but hey, if I got 5 to 10% to give clients, to speak about, to share with the world, to help other people, my message is that health belongs to you. I'm so pissed right now that that the powers that be in the world have done everything they can to take it away from us and so badly want to take that back. And I know that I can't do it alone. And I also know I can't heal alone. Like
Mm.
living in an environment, to breathe the air, to eat the food, to drink the water, to be in the even the EMF, everything that's going on around me, I can't fight it alone. And
Hmm.
so I really believe that community is kind of the next thing that I'm really pressing into myself for healing for me, but also for others. I just think we have to talk to each other, be there for each other, be inspired by each other. Teach things like gardening, herbalism, um, even, Chinese medicine honestly has helped me a lot right now with what I'm going through. Um, there's so many healing modalities that exist that I believe everyone should have access to. I believe that it's not up to someone, just regular person living out there to buy all organic food to somehow, keep the EMF exposure from their house, to somehow also deal with their own. If you're a woman, you probably have some kind of trauma, period. Um,
And it's an unfortunate,
just
it's unfortunate.
statistically, it
Yeah.
is unfortunate, but statistics are just phenomenal how many women experience sexual assault by the time they're 18. It's 1 in 4, 1 in 3 to 4. I can't even,
Yeah, that's a really hard one.
we're all walking
To
around this with this. I live in Oklahoma, so I live in a land that indigenous people, the violence of the Native Americans. I am an energy practitioner, so to me, the energy of things like that it's a big deal. I
yeah, it
believe
is.
bodies feel the energy of it.
They
The
absolutely
more,
do.
um, apologies. The more
No, you're
I
fine.
look at energy, the laws of quantum physics and mechanics, which when I became an energy practitioner, that was a lot of what I studied and was exposed to. I don't believe that someone is bombed on the other side of the world and it doesn't affect me. I don't think I'm in a bubble. I believe that on a cellular level, we are affected by everything that is going on around our planet,
It's a
whether
collective
it
consciousness.
is 100%. Yeah.
I I want to ask you, I'm before we get ahead of the things you just touched on, there's two things that I'm feeling to ask you.
Yeah.
The first one is okay, well, I'll say this one first. The first one is what does building community look like for you? Like what is this vision that you're getting? Because I feel like it's important for more people who have the resources and money who want to make this happen, see more of like what like minds are thinking. Like how does that play out in your head? And then also after the fact, I really feel like it's important to touch on what Chinese medicine you're using for exactly what you're using it for, if you're comfortable sharing.
For sure.
This way, if there are people that hear this and want to find some sort of alternative therapy that may be available to them, that maybe this can give someone another option.
Thank you for asking those. The first about community. Now, again, being raised in a religious cult with the word community in the name,
Hmm.
that took me a lot of years to get back to the place I'm at right now, where I'm like, community is so important,
Hmm.
because I grew up with that preached to me, but at the same time, and practiced, and I can look back and I can see the idealism why people got drawn into the cult. Um, the idealisticness around it, but my grandfather was very controlling, and that's what he taught. And also, there was definite like ritual abuse and things like that. That aren't like what you think about when you think of ritual abuse. When you think of ritual abuse, you think of kind of like the SRA, and in this case, it was not like that, but it was still very much impacted my brain that way.
Hmm.
Um, and so getting to the place where I recognize the how important community is really was quite a journey for me, because I really had to, there's so much like just repulsive in
Hmm.
me. And even whenever I started doing group therapy, I was surprised by like the PTSD that got triggered in me, you know?
Yeah.
Um, and and I just had to be like, okay, I'm taking this step. I'm just taking this step and I have learned how to keep myself safe. So I have this core of safety inside of me, and I'm just going to take this step and um, allow myself to be vulnerable
Hmm.
with a group, um, allow them to be some medicine for me and me to be some medicine for them.
Good for you.
So when I look at community as in what do I want now? Like I really want multi-generational. To me, that's a huge thing. I don't see that happening too much in our culture. Mostly when people have groups, and even whenever I had my first kind of launch in my home, where I had people come in my home, talk to them about my vision, and they were like, well, we did a mom's group at my church, and those people are my friends like 20 years later now. And they kind of collectively gathered around the same age group, so we see
Hmm.
that, mothers doing that or people in certain ages, doing groups like that. It's not my
Yeah.
vision or passion. I want multi-generational. I love working with my groups, my 20-year-olds, but I also want people, I'm 46, I want 50, 60, 70-year-old women to talk to me. I think there's so much wisdom in
Hmm.
generations.
And also the older, the 50, 60, 70 age groups also are the most loneliest.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
even doing like art classes, but really letting them be therapy classes where if you want to talk about it, you can, but if you don't, you don't.
Mhm.
And, storytelling classes. I mean, there's so many different things that you could do that make it relaxed to where they can if they want to, but then at the same time, I feel like those connections will grow organically. And I'm
Yeah.
totally with you on the multi-generational because I keep being guided for years to do these meditation classes, but with young children, neurodivergent teens, neurodivergent adults,
Yeah.
everybody in between.
Yes. Yes.
And it's that whole thing. It's like I do so much already. I don't know how to do it all by myself, but I know that I would love to have a community of like-minded people who can hold the vision with me and implement it together, you know?
Yeah. I think that having the diversity is, I, if you don't have the diversity, I think you just have propaganda.
Yeah.
And having people from different backgrounds, even different beliefs, even if I don't want people around me that think all the same way I do. I want people that think differently. I want to hear your story and your life that's very different from mine, and mine that's very different from a lot of
Well, yeah,
people's.
because then we can teach each other, you know?
Absolutely. And when you talked about, the kids, the moms, the neurodivergent, the babies, the elderly all together, to me that is what my heart longs for. And
Mm.
I feel that is a returning to nature in our
Yes.
relationships. It's a returning to nature. And when we have your neurodivergent kiddo, everyone needs to see the gift in that and hold the space for that and not be,
Right.
if we're expecting to have a gathering where everybody's just in perfect order, like, no, this is not an army. This is family. This is community.
Hmm. Well, it's
We're,
tribes. I
we're
mean,
supposed to
that's
all
what
be
the
a little
tribes do.
weird. You know?
Yeah. Yeah,
Because the
normal's
more we,
boring.
yeah, yeah.
But we're
And
supposed to be tribes. That's what it is.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
it's a cellular memory that you're tapping into of like how it's supposed to be.
Yes.
I
Oh
just
my
got
God.
chills on
I've
my arms.
never heard that before, but you saying that you're 100% right. It's a cellular memory. And it's like, I'm about to cry right now. It's like my body knows that needs to be restored
It does. And
for
it's
my
going to.
health, for the health of the planet, for the health of the land that we live on, you know?
The more that the governments have no other option but to turn in the right direction, the more community will happen. But it takes a collective desire and a collective work for everyone to come together and take action steps, whether that's doing these farm stands that people started doing when, food stands that people started doing when they took away the EBT for a month. The there needs to be action collectively and individually, without there being some sort of dramatic turn of events for people to kind of break out of things and say, I don't want to do this alone anymore. Moms are supposed to have a village.
Oh gosh,
Dads need
absolutely.
dads need brothers. They need guy friends. They need community just as much as the moms do.
Right.
The kids need each other. I mean, my kids are homeschooled, they're so secluded. And it's like, even if I wanted to put them in the local schools, I was told that from junior high up, there's guns and gangs. And this is a town that like I came to as a little girl that was like supposed to be a vacation area. That's like this beautiful spot. You could never imagine that there was gangs and guns in 12-year-olds' hands. So it's insane. And the kids need connection. They need love. They need to feel safe. They don't when they feel like they need to have a weapon to protect themselves, there's a problem in society massively that our children feel like they need to have a weapon and be a part of something dangerous because they don't feel safe. And
Yeah.
that's just, it's not okay. And we as parents and need to come together in community and be able to figure this out because the more we just let it go and say, oh, well, it is what it is. No, it doesn't have to be what it is. We can create something better. But enough of
Right.
us need to come together that want positive change to make that happen.
It's one of my most annoying things that people say is it is what it is. I hate it more than any. I mean, it's right up with in holistic health people saying find the root cause because I'm like, find the root cause. How far do we want to go back? How effed up is this planet? Like you're getting poisoned all the time. You literally can't detox yourself out of it. You know what I mean? Like, um, and it is what it is to me is never. I can't accept it. I can't swallow it.
Well,
If it
that's just
is,
because you are a doer. You're a creator. So you see like, okay, there are certain things you cannot do something about. And that's like an is what it is kind of situation. But then if it's a situation where you can, in fact, actually say something, do something, take a different action step that's going to create a different outcome, 99% of the time there is something you can do, even if it's a governmental issue that we
yeah,
feel like we're not in control of. Send collective prayer.
yeah.
there's a
I
there's
think I might
power
just be a
in.
little bit delusional.
No, you're not. You're not delusional. Yes, yes, a lot of people would say that because it's like do be the delulu, until you manifest.
Yeah,
I get that. No, what you are is you have a vision
yeah.
and you're a change maker. You have the right mindset. You were born like this for a reason. It doesn't matter who tells you what. If you have that fire burning within you that you feel like you need to make a fucking change, like you're gonna keep going until you make a change, or you're gonna collect enough people together that are gonna say, you know what, yeah, fuck that.
I
Let's
think
change it.
that I think that right now is my passion, is realizing that like well, I work one-on-one with clients and I love that work. And that has, I've loved seeing, clients heal and grow and change and do things with their life. And that brings me joy. It really does. But I feel like I have shifted into a space where I know that there needs collective change to happen. And I really need to be reaching people with a message that we really deserve to be healthy and we deserve to take that back.
So,
And
what for everybody that hears this, what is your biggest message? I know you just started to say it, but what is the loudest thing in your soul on how can we together collectively make this change? What is that message?
um, I think that I go back to health belongs to you and health belongs to us all. But my message, first of all, yes, I really, really want every person on the planet, honestly, if we want to go there, to really realize that it is a sovereign right. My
Hmm.
health is a sovereign right. I was not born sick. I became sick. And a lot of the reason why I became sick had to do with the environment around me. So right now, if I want to be well, I I, I am limited. People spend, biohackers spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on their health and are only able to like really do make marginal changes.
Yeah,
Um,
and they still probably drink alcohol and
yeah, and I mean, still people like Steve Jobs dying of cancer. This man had lots and lots of money, you know. Um, was not able to fight that, and people that have to fight that, like we know it is not hidden that pollution in our environment causes cancer and autoimmune diseases. That's not like a mystery. That is common knowledge. Tons of research behind it, you know. You can look up at the government websites, you can look up PubMed, you can look, there's tons of data that says what we're doing in the world today is impacting our health negatively.
I feel like one thing that will help also people to, and maybe you as well, that I've come to because I used to be like extremely upset and depressed and stressed about that all the time,
Mhm.
is, and it's really multi-tiered, multi-layered for me anyway, but is there are a lot of environmental factors that happen that are out of our control. And so, what we can do to take our power back is we can take steps that can help us on a cellular level, on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level. And we can work from within ourselves to effect change. So, for me, it's like, I deal with fibromyalgia and different things that I am not diagnosed with because I'm not going to do that to myself. I just have to focus on positive manifestation because I know my brain and my brain is neurodivergent and I will hyper focus on it and I don't want to do that. So for me personally, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because I know it's working kind of thing. And that's just like a totally different approach and perspective to it because I used to do all the diagnosis. So I was in and out of the hospital in my teens and in my early adulthood for gastroenteritis, for polyp, for all the things, diverticulitis. I had endoscopies, I had colonoscopies. I had just given birth, did it without medication. I mean, it was traumatic, it was scary, went through all the things. Went on a path of natural healing, decided to start eating all organic. Yes, it was expensive. I was on a fixed income. I mean, there was a lot of factors. It was very, very hard to upkeep, but I did it. No fluoride, take fluoride out of the toothpaste. I mean, learned all the
Yeah,
things,
for sure.
organic water. I mean, clean filtered water, organic, literally everything that you could possibly imagine. Started using essential oils and then teas and tinctures, and then learned to make my own tinctures, and then realized I'm
Oh.
very knowledgeable on herbs and I'm a medicine woman, then realized I'm a shaman, became a shaman through receiving the rites. I mean, went through all these levels of training to become Reiki master, then Tibetan healing and archangelic healing and goddess level healing and ancient this and quantum healing hypnotherapist, doing past life regression. I've
Mhm.
I have all the things, right? All the certificates and all the training and all the knowledge, but the knowledge is here. And so here, this is my guidance system. My soul guides me to the next thing that I need to focus on. And so for me, I've come to learn that the things that I focus on the most are the things that I tend to like manifest more of. And so I've come to understand that for me, I accidentally manifested more of having fibromyalgia because I focused on it so much. And then I slowly became to the point where now I have a walker and a wheelchair. And I've decided, that I know that I can heal using just my mind. I know that I can heal by focusing on more of what I want versus what I don't want. And for me, being diagnosed with junior rheumatoid arthritis when I was like 15 or 16, somewhere around there, all the things I'm living proof that you can heal, but you have to have the right mindset. And so when I heard you say it was like a devastating blow, I just want
Mhm.
to tell you, like, you can actually heal these things, but you got to have the right mindset on it. And for me, somebody that like just even like because of trauma that I was experiencing at the time, like even 4 or 5 months ago, couldn't even walk on a walk with my kids without using my chair, my walker. I went to the beach the other day and I didn't even use my walking stick. I walked on the trail all the way there and all the way back, and I didn't even have to use my walking stick. I actually forgot to use my walking stick. I was gonna bring it and I forgot, and I was like halfway there and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm walking without my walking stick." You can heal. The thing is like we just have to shift our mindset on. For me, I just had to shift
No,
my.
I do and teach and have done. I mean, I in the integrated bioenergetic restoration therapy, that's a huge a bit of what we do. And I've been there myself, healed myself a lot,
Yeah, it's
um,
possible for sure.
and also went through, divorce after, a
Hmm.
19-year marriage and
Yeah,
some
mine was
trauma after
17
that. And um,
years.
really, my body kind of went through a ton, and I kind of just thought, like, I'll just kind of get out of this. Like I've had before, I've gotten better before. And this, unfortunately, it progressed very fast. And I really ignored it for quite some time before I was
Hmm.
really, like, yeah, some stuff happened that was pretty severe. And I was like, okay, I got to do something. And I wasn't convinced even, my rheumatologist said she thought that I had that. And I was like, I really don't think I do. I just kind of have autoimmune stuff and I'm going to be fine. I'm going to do alternative therapies, whatever. And I really, it hit different when I really saw what was happening. And I realized that this was a time when I did need to use some advanced Western medicine. And as a holistic practitioner, I am a little bit different in this way that I do think that some of us need that. And
It definitely is the case. We have to have honor for both. We just have to know when to know with discernment what's for our greater good and what isn't.
yeah, yeah,
It serves a purpose.
for sure. And I I knew that I needed to. I don't know 1 year from now where I'll be at, but I knew that right now I needed to. And
So that kind of brings, sorry, I didn't mean to
no,
interrupt
go
you.
ahead. We
My
didn't talk
brain
about
works so
TCM.
fast.
We didn't talk about TCM.
Yeah, I was gonna say that brings me back to if you don't, whatever you're comfortable with
I'd
sharing
love
for,
to.
because I really feel like there are people that are gonna see this that may be dealing with stuff that you're dealing with and need to know, like, okay, what actually does work.
Well, so traditional Chinese medicine is, and I am a certified holistic health practitioner. So TCM is just like one little module that we go through in that. So I'm not certified in TCM. I just know enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so like I don't do acupuncture. I have a friend who does acupuncture, love that. I do reflexology on myself though. I do that. So which is it's pretty simple. And I mean, honestly, there's a lot of information online that you can find about that as far as pressure points in your body and what condition you're dealing with. And if you hit this pressure point and you can feel like, oh my gosh, all of a sudden that hurts really bad, that's an indication that there's inflammation and stagnation in that particular organ line that's associated with that spot.
Hmm.
Um, the thing right now that I'm doing that's helping me a lot is more like dietary guidelines in TCM for what. So in traditional Chinese medicine, it's a different way of looking at, they look at it as energies in the body. So like heat or cold or dampness or dryness, things like that. Like what is
And the
out of
tongue.
balance. And so since I'm doing immune suppressant medication right now to really try and get a hold of this thing that just went crazy in my body. Hi.
My camera just zoomed in on me.
So different things like I started learning about different ways of cooking to help like nourish your cheese. So like water-based cooking really, really has helped me a lot.
Is that instead of oil?
Yeah, instead of oil, so even making congee, which is like if you're really nauseous and having a hard time eating, it's a way to get nourishment in your body. And it's just like a little bit of rice and a lot of water, and you boil it for quite a while, and it really breaks down into kind of this porridge-like consistency, and you can add protein to it or some stewed fruit. And that is something that like really helped me whenever I'm so nauseous. I can't really eat anything. I'm feeling really sick. And this is a traditional Chinese. Like if your system is your body is really weak and inflamed and like there's a see again, I'm sitting here, I'm like, I'm trying to explain this, but I'm like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough in Chinese medicine to give you a
No,
really good thing on it. But
just
I
just explaining what you do that helps.
for
That's more than
sure
enough.
like learning to yeah, like steam and boil instead of roast and fry
Yes,
foods.
that actually
Helps a
helps me
lot.
tremendously because of my GI stuff. Like
Mhm.
steaming vegetables and things instead of frying definitely helps so much.
Yeah. And
It's
taking
gentle.
the oil out helps if you're just really struggling to digest. If you have a lot of nausea, like lowering the fat does help. We still need nutrition, but it's just we're not really able to break down the fat as much. Um,
Right.
and so it helps. I was really surprised that just like steaming some cabbage and cooking like a lot of soups I do in the winter, just soup, 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 soup all the time.
I do
Um,
soups even when we're not in the winter because they help me
yeah,
so much.
yeah, same. And tea is another thing, which I think tea is so wonderful if you have kind of a delicate constitution like me. Tea is a great way to get medicine from plants without it being a lot. Because
Yeah,
herbalism, a lot of people are not so knowledgeable about herbalism and they just kind of think, oh, well, it's a plant, it's not going to hurt you. And it's like, no, this is potent, powerful. And
very.
are not food, they are nature's medicine. So they also can cause different reactions in your body if you take too much of it. And if your body is kind of weaker and more delicate, tea is an amazing way to get like a lower dose herb.
Yes.
I nettle tea, dandelion, root and leaf. Uh, love it.
I
Love, love, love
just
so
I
much.
just saw something that said that dandelion root. I've absolutely loved dandelion. It's such an amazing plant. I'm very, very, very heavily knowledgeable on herbal medicine.
I'm
It's
so mad that people kill their dandelions in their yard. It makes me mad.
well, it's
And like
I've learned we've always wondered why. We know like they contain medicinal values and they're good for the liver and all the things, and they have like lots of iron and lots of things. What I just learned is that there was a scientist that just discovered, and I don't know that they just discovered it, but I know that it was announced that it is dandelion root specifically, but I think also the leaves is known to kill off certain cells that are harmful in the body within 2 days.
very cool.
Yeah, so I thought that was really awesome. Really, really awesome.
Yeah, I love it, and I think it's just one of teas are one of the ways of using herbs. I just think a lot of if you're sick, like if you're not sick, it's different. But if you've had chronic illnesses, teas are a powerful way. It's simple and powerful, and it's to me, it's like more powerful because it's diluted. So in a tea, it's diluted as, if you're taking like a capsule of something that like dandelion,
Hmm.
for instance, that was ground up and put in a capsule, it
It's
just makes my
different.
body so different than if you drink a tea. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's because, and the reason why is because when you take a capsule of something, it it has to break down in through your gastrointestinal tract, and when you absorb things that way, you're having to break the plant down. The body's then having to extract what it can from it. And sometimes it's not even seen as like the medicine that you're wanting it to be for your body. And so when you take things in as a tea, the essence and the extract of the herb and the medicine is in the water because it's been through the heat and the water, it's been extracted through a gentler
Yeah.
method. And then when it goes in through your body, it's going under your tongue, it's going in through your when you're smelling it, like from the
Mhm.
steam, it's going through your
Yeah.
olfactory senses, which is why essential oils are huge, powerful medicine. And then
Have
once
you,
it
I have a question. Whenever you're done, I want to ask you something.
Okay, once it goes in, the the essence and the medicines have already been extracted into the water. The water is going to be the first thing that's absorbed when you put something in your body. So it's not going in as a food and then having to break down and the body's having to like figure it out. It's just automatically medicine. And that's why tea is so powerful, and herbal extracts like alcohol-based extracts or glycerin extracts. And then I just want to say one more thing. People also need to do your research when you take essential oils, even if they're food grade, even if they're food safe, like doTERRA or Young Living, because they are also extremely
Very,
concentrated and very
very
powerful, and they can make you have very strong physical symptoms that
big heart
you are not
sing.
prepared for,
Yeah. Yeah.
including
I,
damaging your organs and stuff like
yeah.
that.
Yeah. I am not a proponent of ingesting essential oils. I think they're powerful. I love them. I use them. I remember when I was a teenager and like doctors had put me on morphine because of how much pain I was in, and I hated it. But if I took a lavender essential oil bath, that took care of my pain better than morphine did.
Lavender and
Mm,
Epsom salts is
yep.
amazing medicine.
Amazing for pain. Like that would, I just remember being really surprised. And this was, I'm just this teenager doing my little research because like I'm horribly sick all the time. And, medicine's not really helping me much. Doctors just kind of shake their heads and they don't know what's going on. And then they
Because they're
do, but even when they do give you a diagnosis, like a diagnosis isn't really anything except a set of symptoms. And
most of them are not going through your entire history, medical history, and they're certainly not doing mind, body, spirit check-ins. They're not figuring out what your emotional state has been and is it potentially linked, which usually is to.
I had no idea until I was in my 30s and actually I was doing a class to be a foster parent. And in that class, we were learning about trauma and how it affects your lifelong health. And I was looking at this and I'm like, oh my God, that's me. Nobody told me that.
Right,
Nobody told me all this stuff going on in my body is probably because of my very fucked up childhood.
exactly.
Um, but yeah, that was one of those big eye-opening moments. What I wanted to ask you was, have you ever heard of or used flower essences?
I absolutely love them and need to get some more. I have not had them in,
It
man,
was,
like since my daughter was like really tiny.
yeah, it's been a little
Fuck.
bit for me too. And I was just thinking about them today. I'm like, okay, I have
Then you need to get
know a
them.
wonderful person that makes them. And I'm like, okay, I need to.
So I was introduced to those this lifetime by Brandy Cole.
Okay.
She is the shamanist that passed the rites of the Munaiki shamanism to me, and she was doing these essences over distance, over literally like distance healing sessions,
It
and
works. I do
it's
distance healing, distance energy work. It works. And whenever I first was introduced to it, that's what I was doing from my mentor.
mm-hmm.
It was distance, and I was shocked. I was
You,
shocked to tell you
so
that my first energy session.
yeah, I would love actually to hear about it. But I wanted to say really quick. So she told me to get Bach energy or Bach flower
Hot flower
essences.
remedies, yeah.
Oh my God, they're so powerful. And
Mhm.
then working with Pan. So I don't know if you're familiar with Pan, but Pan is like the overseer of all nature, spirits, and deities. And and I realized that I have a connection to Pan. I was like, okay, this makes so much sense. But when you do flower essences, you can look this up. But Bach actually teaches, so you can call in Pan, like the spirit of Pan, and ask Pan to intuitively guide you to what flower essences are best for either yourself and your, whatever you're healing or whoever you're working on. And you'll be guided to like what flower essences will help this person. But it's deeper. It's so much deeper than people even can understand because my God, like they're so powerful.
I I think they're a really great way to help shift when we have, and I think, this is definitely a mind-body connection and emotion,
Hmm.
which most people think emotions happen in our mind, but emotions happen in our body.
Hmm.
And our body feels like it's literally, I feel sad or I feel angry. Like it's literally, we say I feel because it's a feeling in our body.
Yeah.
But, uh, you know, I definitely was a high intellectualizer of my emotions, and a lot of people are. And, most time when I first start working with somebody, I'll say, well, what is this feeling? And then they'd start telling me a thought. Like, well, I think blah, 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 this happened. And I'm like, but how does it feel? And
Right.
they'll say, but I think,
That's
like
not the question.
take all of that away and feel it in your body. And I'm definitely highly intuitive when I work with clients. I will often feel things in their body. I will feel it myself for them, um, or with them, help them work that energy out of their body so it's not stuck where it is.
That is something that I've always had a gift on as well. It's part of my gifts, but I will tell you, and for anybody else that this happens to, you need to have a really solid way to ground your energy back into the earth and cleanse their, essentially their shit
Yeah.
out of your body, because what can happen for us, and it happened to me, is taking on other people's stuff, and it's not worth it.
It's not. I just have to have a lot of boundaries, and really limit myself because when, first of all, and the client plays a part in it too when they're working with you and not against you. Um, and it's very beneficial. And it also is very easy as a practitioner when you have a client that's working with you and they're sensitive and they allow themselves to be soft in the
Yeah.
space.
Well, and
It's
they
a
also
lot
have honor
easier.
and respect for you.
Yes, it's a lot easier to the energy will move and you won't just be carrying it. And I've had the other as well, where, I've worked with people that it's just they just don't, I'm just like, why are you paying me? You know what I mean? Like, why? Because like it's apparent that this isn't working because you're not here, you know?
I
Um,
think I feel like some people, sorry, I interrupted you like four
it's
times
okay.
today. I feel like some people genuinely want to feel better, but they don't want to do the work, even including like mentally or
Yeah,
emotionally, like looking at any of it. They're just like, here, you take the money
just
and you make me feel
open.
better.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I'm working with someone, they have to be present too.
Hmm.
I do everything on my side to show up as my healthiest, my wisest, my most open, as well as guarded, as putting that protection around us as we're working together. And I can tell when I start moving energy with somebody if they're resistant or flowing with it. And sometimes they're resistant for reasons. Sometimes they have blocks, they have things that are hindering them, and we can go through those and work them out. But it's always, my last client session that I had a little bit ago, it's always such a joy when you're working with someone and they let the energy move and
Hmm.
they're not just attached to like holding on to whatever the belief is. Like, no, I have to work hard or I'll die. Like, no.
And that's because they actually want to feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. But sometimes they're really scared and letting go of survival beliefs in order to allow yourself to heal and thrive can be really scary. And
Understand?
so but it's such a joy and I can't even tell you. And I feel the energy right away when I'm working with someone that'll work with me. And in that kind of setting, working with a client like that, it flows. I'm able to move the energy, also able to let it go off of me and not hold it.
Right.
And it's it just brings me so much. I feel uplifted myself, being able to participate with someone in their healing
Because
process.
it is joyful. It's a beautiful experience to feel like, hey, this person that's in front of me is like actually wanting to feel better. They're trusting the process, they're doing the work, they're showing up, and they're trusting me to be their, divine channel for this information, healing,
Yeah.
wisdom, whatever. And it's a just an overall beautiful experience.
And
It's
I feel that um, in my experience, that most of and this was shocking to me because I didn't anticipate that when I first started, that most of the people that I've worked with that I've had that experience with are Gen Z. Most of them are younger. And I kind of always thought, I'd be working with people like my age, going through things I was going through. But actually, the most benefit, healing, growth that I've seen happen have been with the clients that are the Gen Zers. And I just respect them so much for that generation kind of taking the steps that they are, prioritizing their health, really wanting to affect change in the world. And that has been a surprise to me, as well as something that's joyful for sure. And I really know that cost can be an issue with a lot of kids in their 20s, and so I
Yeah.
also work hard to provide services that are lower cost, different ways for them to do things besides one-on-one. Some of them, I've done sliding scale too before, just to make that accessible, because when I'm working with someone and I see like, okay, there something is happening here, I can tell they are doing the work. Like,
Hmm.
that is somebody I want to work with.
Absolutely. And and okay, so for people who may want to work with you, what what are you able to provide in a session? Like, say there's people who are dealing with maybe some autoimmune stuff or just physical things that they need to just get some help with, that they're not feeling satisfied with their current practitioner or whatever they've been doing. What does a session look like? What are your session options also like, but what does a session look like with you?
So I don't really do anything. I don't really have different kinds of sessions, just kind of different lengths of time, and that kind of gives me a focus as well. But every time I have a session with a client, my first question in the session is going to be, what is your intention? What do you want to change in your life? Um, and that could be who knows what. you know I
Yeah.
do muscle response testing, so I will do that part of the time. I also rely quite a bit on listening and intuition. And the intuitive part is a part that, like, you can't make up and you can't script, and I don't really ever know. Sometimes I know it's really weird because I always do work before session to prepare for it. And mostly that is cleansing myself, um, making sure that my spirit is open to listen. Um, and I can listen ahead of time, if that makes sense. I can listen before we're talking.
Hmm.
So I do spend some time listening in spirit ahead of time before session. And if something really, most of the time, the spirit tells me, I mean, most of the time, I will go into it with something, and I don't really know how it's going to fit in the session, but it's sort of just like my own sort of personal preparation, uh,
Hmm.
the spirit listening before going into session.
I
And
definitely do those things too.
yeah, yeah. So, and that helps me. Sometimes it's just listening kind of helps me see the energy around that person, what they're coming. Sometimes it has to do with like an old wound or some type of trauma
Hmm.
that that person has. And I will then go in and it be open for what's your intention. Um, I I always am bringing in, most of the time, there's trauma connected to any issues that someone is having, whether it's health issues, whether it's work stuff, whether it's relationship stuff.
Hmm.
Almost always there's some type of early trauma and child parts, and different types of fractures inside of a person, whether it's I think healing is just about wholeness. I think healing is it's not it's gathering, if all the parts of ourselves were together and in harmony, I believe that that's how healing happens. I think that happens in our body physically. I think that happens in the world at large. I think that happens in relationships that are broken.
Right.
Um, we think about, I called my business regeneration because I believe life is regenerative. I believe the process of everything is cyclical. And
And
so
it's
when
a
a
micro macro connection.
client comes to me, usually there's something going on, there's something wrong in their life and they just, I don't advertise so people hear about me from somebody. It's usually
Yeah.
just like, so and so told me you could help. Like, okay. And
I mean,
then
that's good.
we talk about that and I will listen to their soul, listen to their spirit, hear, you know, hear what the roots are. And I do, as I have grown as a practitioner, I so much more rely upon my own spiritual abilities than I did at first.
Well,
Um,
because you have so many experiences now that you can trust.
I think so. I feel like I'm just getting old in the best possible way. I love the growth of years. I do not think that aging is a bad thing at all.
It's a
I
gift, really.
it is. If we're lucky, we get to get old.
Right.
Right?
Exactly. Because a lot of people don't.
And so, I'll sit there and listen, and really, I tune in. I tune in to hearing what is going on, and I'm sorry, I'm getting a little distracted right now because I'm thinking,
Oh, you're
um,
fine.
I was doing a session with you, I'd be tuning in to you and what's going on with you and talking to you about that. And so as I said that, when I start saying things like that, stuff, energy starts hitting me.
Are
And
you
I start
tuning into
going,
me?
okay, this isn't what we're here for right now. This isn't what we're here for right now. We're not going to talk about Jessica.
What are you what are you picking up on? A
Um,
lot. I have a lot here.
I mean, I'm sure that there is, but I'm not like, you really want to go here?
I mean, you could if you want to. Not a
Um,
lot of people are able to tune into me. They're not really allowed.
so I have this child part that I'm seeing, and I think she's 7, and she is like hiding her face like this.
Yeah, very shy.
Um, she is with you. I feel like this is probably something happened around that age, and I don't know what she's like. I'm seeing this image of like this. Um, she feels really alone,
Mm,
and but for some reason, there's like I don't know if this is a shame. It doesn't feel like shame. It feels a little bit more like scared.
yeah.
Um, like scared to be seen.
Hmm.
And I think that, when I work with people, and I've had plenty of my own child parts to heal and work with, whenever they start showing up, it's usually like they're ready to heal. Like maybe they're feeling a little safer, they're feeling ready, they're ready to show up and ready to reconnect. I believe healing fractured parts of ourselves from childhood are a huge part of
Yeah, it's
healing.
incredibly important.
Yeah,
I've
I
been healing so many aspects and layers and levels for so long, but it doesn't surprise me. Thank you for telling me that.
Yeah, you're welcome. I think she just, if you see her or feel her presence, it's like she kind of wants to be comforted and just feel like it's okay to
Okay.
be there and to be. seen, like it's okay to be seen. She's safe being seen and showing the world who she is.
Yeah, all of those things are aligned with where I'm at right now too.
And
Yeah, I went through, thank you very much. I really do appreciate that, and I'm taking it in. Um, I went through so
I feel it.
much.
I feel that. I really do. I feel that you are. It's good. Thank
Yeah, I'm grateful. Um, I'm I went through so much literally all of my life until now that I don't think there was ever a real like big chunk of time where I didn't. So it's kind of like when I came in, I was like 3.5 months old and I had to have life flighted intestinal surgery in a hospital where my mom couldn't even be there to save my life when I was 3.5 months old. And I've had to do healing, distance healing through time and space on like baby me and like be there in the operating room and
that.
like guide
Yeah.
the doctor's hands and heal
Mhm.
me and hold me as a baby type healing when I was younger. And you have like a scar like all the way across my stomach from that. And then like,
So
just
trauma.
yeah, like from birth, like from literal birth. And so my and then like my mom ended up having like a drug addiction when I was really, really little. And then as a consequence of that, me and my brother went through tremendous amounts of chaos and trauma and scary things. And I think I'm trying to think of, I'm trying to remember seven because like so much of my memories I don't have, I have somewhere, but I don't usually remember them. But I'm trying to think of seven.
Um, every, if not every, at least very close to every person that I've ever worked with that has childhood trauma, when an age comes up, their initial thing will be like, I don't remember anything. And
It's
that's a
just my
sign
memories.
that there's you dissociated. Your brain is
Yeah.
protecting you from that.
For
Um,
so many years though, like so many
yeah,
years I don't remember a
yeah.
lot of stuff.
It's just like a black hole. It's like white noise.
Yeah,
People,
I'm really trying to remember seven right now. Because my brother was born when I was like 3.5. How old was I? I mean, what grade was I even in?
here's what I'll tell you. Don't be surprised if you dream about it in the next few days, maybe week. Because a lot of times that will come up in our dreams. If
Yeah.
we
Or
have
meditation. It'll probably come up in meditation for
more
me.
in meditation, yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
And you'll probably have like a sudden memory hit you. And it'll be like, oh, um, and if
Well, I
not,
keep having something come to me, but and I'm wondering if that's how old I was. Seven. Okay, so what? Five is like kindergarten. Six is first grade. Second grade.
yeah, seven is usually first or second grade.
So I'm thinking it's exactly what is coming to me, which is when me and my mom almost got murdered by my mom's ex because he poisoned us and kidnapped my brother. And my mom was like vomiting. And then when my mom tried to leave him, well, me and my mom were throwing up nonstop in a house that had no electricity in the hills in a place called Concow in California. And he kidnapped my brother, came back. He was on horrible, horrible, horrible drugs like heroin and all types of crazy shit. And my mom was dying. I was probably also like on borderline. And then we escaped and or we tried to escape. We were sleeping one night, me and my brother. There was a plank of wood on the wall, and I had a dog that I had when since I was like 3 or 4, named Aru, which is so funny because I keep typing his name over and over again recently when I'm trying to write the word two on my phone.
Right.
And
Feels really
the
connected to that dog.
huh?
She feels really connected to that dog.
Yeah,
This,
that was like my best friend. And then
yeah.
I remember like my mom was planning on escaping. We were gonna escape. I don't know why my camera keeps doing that. And um and
Right.
so
You think something's up?
so
Okay, we can roll with it.
we were my mom whispered in mine and my brother's ear, and she was like, when he falls asleep, we're gonna leave in the car. Somehow he knew because he was the devil itself. And when my mom got up to get us, he slammed her face into the wooden floor. And my brother, who was really, really little, got on his back and was like pulling his hair, trying to get him off my mom. My dog jumped through the wooden plank that was the door, and I caught it by my hands and my feet and threw it off of me. And then got up and I was trying to save my brother and like help my mom. My dog started attacking him. He took my dog to the back and killed him. And my mom said she wouldn't leave in order for him to stop. And then somehow I don't have any concept of time at this point,
Mhm.
but at one point after all of that happened, we ended up in the you have to on Sawmill Peak, you have to drive up this really I didn't expect to talk about this at all, but apparently I'm meant to share it, so I'm sharing if you're okay with that.
Please go.
So it's like really tiny windy road from Concow to Sawmill Peak, and the Sawmill Peak is like covered in quartz crystals like everywhere on the like you're not even on the same planet there. And me and my brother were placed next to an abandoned couch and on the ground, like no blanket, nothing. And they lit a fire. He had his truck, swear he was just pure evil. Had a rope, tied it around the tree, and was trying to change the engine out or something. I don't know. And they took off that night into the forest, were using drugs. And this is no shade on my mom. My mom was just really lost. And she came back. It was the middle of the night sometime. The fire was pretty much dying out, and me and my brother were cold. And I remembered my grandma saying, like, pray. Just pray whenever you feel scared, pray whenever you feel lost. So I started praying, but just in my head. And then my mom showed up. My mom started crying, like bawling, crying, like she had this realization, like she had left her children in the middle of the forest next to a fire alone. And she said that she started praying out loud. She told me this later on. And she said that she promised that she would never use drugs again if we could get out of that situation. I still to this day don't fucking know how, but somehow my mom got to a phone and the guy that she was with at the time got the truck running. On the way down the hill, I think he kind of knew my mom was going to leave him, and he tried to drive us off the cliff because the road was really, really tiny, like very, very skinny. He literally was trying to drive us off the cliff. And my mom was beating him in the head with a can of pork and beans, which is like one of those, like, I don't like pork and beans.
I bet. I bet. Yeah.
And I'm like grabbing the steering wheel, and I think I was 7. And I'm grabbing the steering wheel. I'm trying to like keep us on the road. My brother's next to me. He like burned me with a cigarette, and my mom's beating him, trying to make him stop. I don't know what happened. I know I was praying, but all I know is we ended up on the side of the mountain somewhere parked. There was a very weird convenience store in the middle of nowhere. It seemed very strange that it was even there. My mom says everything's gonna be okay. My grandpa shows up, still don't know how, with a shotgun and says, they're coming with me or you're gonna be here on the ground. And all I knew in that moment was he saved our life. And I I never like, really like talked about it a lot other than here and there, very rarely like talking about like a little bit of what happened, but I never really like fully processed like that it happened or that it was real or the fact that we even made it through that, it was just kind of like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Just like,
I do.
just another insane part of my story kind of thing. And yeah, I've definitely like known that I'm supposed to share my story more and more in pieces, but this is the first time I've ever shared this publicly ever. But that makes so much sense because I mean, it was absolutely terrifying.
I feel like when I see her like this, it's partly of she's scared, but also partly of like this 7-year-old that's like, I can't believe this is my life or this is happening. Like this, definitely dissociated, but part of right now, part of you healing her and her reintegrating with you is telling the story, is saying, yes, this happened. I'm
Hmm.
I'm not hiding it and I'm not hiding from it.
Yeah,
And
because a lot happened since then.
yeah,
We didn't really have a chance to like fully heal yet all the way, and I've been trying.
I bet.
Me and little me.
She was fighting so hard and really wants to, I feel like she just really wants to be present with you. I know this maybe is kind of weird, but it's almost like she doesn't need to be rescued. She fought, she got rescued, she already did like all that work of surviving. It's almost like she just wants to be present with you, be accepted, be it's like there's this fullness that comes with when a part of ourself that we sort of separated and cut off for a while, when we allow that part to come back and reintegrate, have safety and have a voice in
Hmm.
who we are now. I think that 7-year-old wants to have a voice in who you are now. She is freaking fierce, you know? She
Yeah,
is
she was.
strong
I beat up
and
boys when I was that age.
you want her strength. Like right now, I think her strength is needed for moving forward in your life.
Okay.
Um, but she doesn't want to be hiding anymore. And
Hmm.
it's just the message I'm getting.
She
So
sit right here.
yeah, she just needs to be like, I'm here and I made it. And like she wants this combination of like the piece of just being accepted, as well as like if I'm accepted, that means I have a voice too. That means I'm
Yeah,
respected and valued.
I
And
had a lot of years, sorry, I had a lot of years of like every time I would look at pictures of myself when I was younger, I didn't want to.
yeah, that's yes, that makes complete sense.
And that, yeah, and her being like, okay, well, then don't
It
look at me
probably
then.
felt like it was not you. Probably like if you looked at a photo, it was like me.
Well,
Did it
because it
feel
was associated with like all the things I went through too,
about it?
like I didn't want to look at that. I didn't want to feel that. I didn't want to re-feel like what that part of
Yeah,
me went through because that part of me went through so much and then like going through so much as a young adult and then going through so much through all my 20s and now I'm 39. I'm turning 40 this year. I mean, I've been in survival mode for how long? For how
it's
long?
you're ready to make a change there. You're making a
Right.
change.
Right. So like it's just been like it's been a lot. I don't know why it keeps zooming in on my face. Thank you so much. And so let this be, and truly thank you from my soul and from little me. But I hope that, and I pray that this is a testament, honestly, for for people to see that you're good because you're good. It's
Thank
funny
you.
because
It's always a
I
privilege.
usually do this kind of work for other people, so
Yeah.
it's cool to like have someone that can
Yes.
do it for me.
Yes. Yeah, I completely understand. I love that too. But this has been, a journey for me in the bioenergetic therapy and then as a holistic health practitioner, and then kind of graduating beyond that to where I am sort of taking from these different things that I've learned and been certified in, but also I add on to it really what is my gift. And my gift is I definitely have that ability of seeing, feeling energy, spirits, as well as like child parts, and helping people to give them a voice. And I really think you did that today. And that was really, really brave. I'm really proud of you for saying it. And I heard you, even as you were talking, it was almost like, this other part of you that is like, oh my God, I cannot believe this is coming out. And also,
I
I
was
can't
like,
believe I
okay.
lived through it.
Yeah, it's insane. It's insane. Honestly, out of all the things I've experienced, that one will forever go down as one of the most insane ever. Because what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And I
Can you
really
imagine trying to
feel
like
that you
talk
had
to people about that and
some
not want to
angels
expose them?
watching out. Like
Oh,
you,
hell yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, heck yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that, but my gosh. I'm grateful. I'm grateful at all. I mean, I'm part of them, but I'm also grateful for all the ones that hung out with me and protected me because Jesus. And it's crazy because that's just one story. But see, here's been my thing. I know I need to share my story and I know I need to talk about like what happened so other people can be like, "Oh, it's not just me." Like you can actually heal. You can get to a point where you can do cool things like have a podcast and connect with other people and do your work, right? But like I've done so much immense work every single day for so many years. And I'm not saying everybody has to do that level of work, but I am saying you do have to do the work. You have to show up for you. You have to learn how to heal you in order for you to help other people. And a lot of people want to skip that part because all of the reasons of why you want to skip
It
that
is
part.
hard. It
Hmm.
is hard.
It's
It
easier
is
to focus on everybody else's stuff than your own anyway.
for sure. And that was a huge part of my process, and it continues to be a part of my process, is I always have to be first, you know?
For us
Uh,
as healers, we always find joy in helping other people, but it's kind of that weird subconscious thing of like, what am I like? Do I get the same feeling when I help me? That's where we have to rewire in here.
yeah,
Is I I want to help me because I want to feel good. I want to feel better in my body, and I want to show up to help other people as a version of myself that I am proud to show up as. And I can't say, oh, I can help you heal this if I don't even want to help me heal it.
absolutely. And I don't want to ask, like I told you before, how meaningful it is to work with clients that want to work with me and that are open. Um, I, like the imposter syndrome is huge enough as it is. Like if I'm not, like I know if I'm not doing the work, I
Yeah,
know uh there's no way I can bypass and like help anybody else if I'm not prioritizing me. It just doesn't happen. It is the hard work. Like I said, it's 90 to 95% of caring for my health and every aspect of it. And then that leftover that I have to share with someone else, that leftover that I have to share with you now. And is that the ice cream? Is it the dessert? Absolutely. It is the
for
dessert. When
sure.
I get to see someone heal and I get to be a part of their process.
Do
100%.
you ha have you heard of quantum healing hypnotherapy at all?
I have not heard, I probably have.
Well,
But
I
I'd love
do.
more info.
Okay. I'm gonna talk to you about that later whenever we both have time because I feel like I feel like I may be able to help you in that aspect with some of the stuff that you're going through and I feel like you are for sure one person that can definitely help me get to some root cause of what's going on for me that it's one of those like it's easier for us to see in someone else from an observer point of view because it's like even though you know and you can like figure all the things out and do the meditation and receive the answers, which is all beautiful and I'm grateful. It's one of those where you said we kind of can't do all of it ourselves even though we want to do all of it ourselves.
That's good. This is what I meant by community.
Right.
100%.
So, I
We
mean, I would
all, we
totally be
need
open
each
to,
other. I
yeah, like,
cannot heal in isolation. I won't heal in isolation. As much as wonderful as it sounds to go out and isolate myself from everybody and have a happy little garden somewhere, that is not how I will heal. That's how I
I
will
feel it.
avoid. But
Yeah,
how we heal is connecting to others. Now, maybe if we go out somewhere and have a happy little garden together,
right.
that's not
I would be more
have a
motivated
happy
for
little
that
garden with
anyway.
some other friends, sure.
Right.
But not totally. I'm simply saying that we, it's very much in my heart right now. That is where I am trying to grow as an individual
Yeah.
to into community and to, I really, my next step in regeneration is that I want to create groups. I want to create community and not just create groups. I don't like just looking at it like group session, like creating community. I don't know. I'm sitting here talking about something that I really want to learn how to do.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do. I don't know that anybody really knows how to do. Um,
I feel
but
like it's on your soul for a
I feel
reason.
like if I want to, then the universe is going to lead me that direction. I'm going to
Yeah.
go that direction somehow. And if I talk to enough people, we start talking, connecting, I'll make you some soup and
Right. You
let's
have it on your soul for a reason, and I totally agree with you. I mean, like I said, now more than ever. Now more than ever. We need it. We need it. We need it as moms. We need it as people. The kids need it. Like I said, men need it. We all need to feel connectedness because we're going through so much what feels like alone and nobody knows what's going on. Nobody knows how to do all this stuff by themselves. We're all just trying to figure it out.
yeah, and it's being in the healing space. And again, that's another term that I kind of have a little issue with. I think but being in this space of alternative health and wellness, um it is very feels really vulnerable for me and I had another holistic like bodywork practitioner who's a client of mine and I've been a client of theirs say to me, you know, you're here healing people, but you're sick.
Hmm.
Like, if what you're doing is valid, like, and he wasn't being like mean or anything with them. Like, believe me, I've asked myself that question a bunch of times. I ask myself that all the time. And all that I can say is I am healing. And we all are. And I'm not going to say, well, just because I am dealing with certain things in my physical body or even mentally or emotionally, because God knows I also have complex PTSD. I also,
Mm-hmm.
is my neurodivergence from that or from genetics, and probably
Right.
both, you know? Um, but I'm going to show up as authentic. I'm not going to come in here like airbrushed and be like, oh, I healed myself. I can heal you too. Like, no, I'm in the trenches.
Healing is also a journey for people
Yeah.
who say stuff like that or think things like that. Healing is a journey, and when you show up and I and everybody shows up authentically to say, no, I'm not perfectly, completely healed. I'm going through what I'm going through as a result of what I went through before now, but I've done all these different things. These are things that did not work for me. These are things that do work for me. These are things that I'm guided to give to you as intuitive divine guidance that may help you. You can try them if you feel aligned with it and it resonates. And if not, find something that works. And that's the whole thing
And
with
don't give
how,
up. Like,
right,
keep
because
going.
sometimes stuff doesn't help right away and people go, oh,
Mhm.
well, that didn't work for me. And it's like you literally do have to keep on going and trying because not everything is going to be a one size fits all fix. And
Never is.
sometime, right, and sometimes, yeah, you're correct. And sometimes you're going to find something that works for you for a little while and then you need to figure out the next step. Like for me, there were periods of time where I needed CBD medicine and cannabis oil for different stuff, and then I got to a point where my body and my brain were like, this, we don't need this anymore, and I reacted weird to it, and I was like, oh, I don't need to keep taking this, and then I just stopped and I
Right.
recognized it for what it was, and I was like, okay, what's the next step?
Hmm.
So, even
Great
things
example.
that work,
Perfect. Yeah.
yeah, like even things that work really, really good, they're not always gonna be a forever thing. Sometimes you just
Well,
gotta go,
hopefully
okay,
it's not. That's
right,
the goal is, yeah, hopefully it continues to regenerate, continues to grow. We continue through that cycle of letting go, like letting go. My God, that has been such a journey for me. And I look at
I
even
get
on
that.
a cellular level, my cells need to be able to let go of what's holding me back. My cells need to be able to let go of toxic material. Um, and I need to be able, nourishment is just as much a part of letting go as it is what you take in. And um,
The detox aspects of it, yeah.
yeah. And I was thinking, and this is another thing I'm really passionate about too, is kind of what you and I just did, where you had this memory that came up, this remembrance of a time in your life, and that you're ready to heal and reconnect with that part of you. Um, I feel that often we think that the opposite of remembering is forgetting, but the opposite of remembrance is actually dismembering. And when we have trauma, we separate from ourselves. This is a dismembering that happens. It's like a part of us that is cut off and kind of frozen in time. And sometimes frozen in a place, and sometimes it's not even with
It's
you, it's
fractured.
somewhere else. Yeah, it's fractured. And my work with one-on-one clients is almost always remembering through
Yeah,
wholeness, healing through remembrance, healing through we remember, we bring back all the parts of ourselves that have been fractured, that have been wounded, that have been damaged, that people have spoken lies over and spoken curses over, and we remove
mm-hmm.
curses, we bring those parts back and we reintegrate them with us, and we become every reintegration, it's like our energy cycle becomes so much bigger, our the whole vibration around our body increases, which
Absolutely.
mental, physical, all kinds of positive effects whenever our whole self is in harmony, is in alignment with who we are. And we have this, I don't know, remembrance. I think healing is remembrance. Remembrance is a part of healing. Uh, and it's a delicate space. It's like, whenever you have a wound that's healing or a burn that's healing, how the skin is just so delicate.
Yeah.
Our souls, the individuals that I'm working with, their heart, their soul, and even their body is so delicate because they're remembering. And I think the privilege that I have in being a part of just gently with them in that process, and in understanding the power and the sensitivity of it,
You have the right spirit for it because you are so gentle, and most of the people that are probably your clients are the ones that didn't receive that gentleness growing up, and from others, and probably repeated those patterns in their relationships, having abuse and stuff like that. So
Well,
you're
often
that.
we repeat the patterns with ourselves too, you know.
Yeah, and you're gentle in nature. You're something they don't have a lot of experience of. It's crazy how I have been so fucking abused like my whole life so far. Like so much, so many times for so many years. And yeah, I have my fiery warrior spirit in my soul because I have to have it integrated to protect me at this point, but and protect my children, but also like I'm so incredibly gentle by nature, and I could have literally been I could have let my warrior self take completely over. I mean, I could have went psychotic for real. I really could have went psychotic. I could have lost my mind so many times through the stuff I've experienced. And I'm so grateful that I've been doing the work all this time, that I'm actually okay, and that I'm here and I'm still able to be gentle, because I don't feel like a lot of people going through a fraction of what I've experienced would have come out of it with grace. And so I do have to give myself credit for that, because I've had a lot of people say, like, I'm really amazed that you didn't let everything you went through change you to make you like a mean or angry or bitter person. And a lot of times I felt like that was weakness, because I still, even in just this past like year or two, have been like verbally abused and stuff. And it's like, and I don't yell back. I don't, allow my anger to get the best of me. I usually am just like calm and with grace, and I come to the situation with divine peace. But it's like, I just understand that I don't want to be like them. I don't want to be that kind of person. And if I act in certain ways that are not like me, then I'm not being true to myself. And then I would feel guilt. I would feel bad. There's a certain situation when you have to be your warrior self, but in situations when you're being lashed out on or verbally abused or whatever, and that person is just broken or healing and they're not themselves and they're not okay, being that way back doesn't do anything good. It doesn't solve anything or make it better, or create a healing space. So, but then there's been so many times, like literally countless times, even in the past 4 years, where I've literally been like, why am I still so gentle when I'm sitting here being yelled at? Why am I just taking it, essentially? Does that make me weak? So it's like there's definitely like a weird paradigm shift that happens in those moments, but at the same time, it's like, what am I supposed to learn from this? What do I need to understand from this? Is this just cycles that are repeating because I still haven't broken them all the way, blah, 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 even though I've done immense amounts of work. And so, there's always different segmented reasons and lessons and whys behind why we experience so many things. And ultimately, that's all contingent upon what your soul is here to experience and listening deeply within yourself to know and understand why. Because your why is going to be different from my why. Everybody's why is not the same. And again, there's no one size fits all answer. That's why doing the work is so important.
Well, I feel like with what you just shared, that reintegrating that part of you from when you were 7 will give you some answers, and also kind of help you to bridge the gap between I'm not going to respond and I'm going to have a boundary because I don't need to listen to your unhealed crap.
Right.
Because if I do, I'm subjecting myself to that. And if I was, would I allow my 7-year-old self to be yelled at? Is that
Fuck
okay?
no.
So why do we allow my 10-year-old self to be yelled at? Why is that okay?
Yeah.
And to find the balance of like, okay, well, I can't just completely, cut everybody off all the time. And people are people, and sometimes they're not healed, and sometimes they react. Sure. But this is where this 7-year-old part, she's showing up because you have lessons to learn from her too. And you need her just like she needs you. Um, to, I think a lot of times when we grow up in really crazy kind of abusive situations, it's really hard to like know what's healthy or even normal.
Yeah. Like you have a vision of it, but you're also kind of just like,
Yeah.
is that even for me though? Because
Right.
I've not experienced that all the way yet. But what's crazy for me on that is like, I've tried to create like these healthy dynamics. I've tried to have like whole routines and like, let's do chore chart, like with my children. I'm like, let's do chore charts. We're going to have a schedule. We're going to do all the
And with
things.
those little neurodivergent babies, I'm sure that did not work.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And not only did it not work, when I did it, when I was still with their biological father, he sabotaged every single step of the way. And so it not only was like me trying to perform a miracle, it was me also being like absolutely sabotaged, where it was like, they don't need to do dishes or chores because you need to show them the example of that every day and then teach them. And it's like, what do you mean? I was literally working from the time I woke up to the time I went to sleep. I was door dashing, doing Instacart, doing Amazon Flex deliveries. I would come home. I had my daughter with me most of the time when I would do delivery work, and sometimes my youngest son, and then sometimes all of them. I was working all of the time. I was putting on healing arts fair events myself, or organizing those, finding people to do the events. I was cleaning, I was cooking all the meals. I would come home, cook breakfast, lunch, and dinner in between all of my work. I always had my phone on for delivery so that I could leave at any given moment and go make some money. I paid all the bills myself. I did all the appointments myself. I did all the grocery shopping myself on top of shopping for others for my work. It's like constant, constant, constant. And I was being told, well, you need to do all of it and then show them the exam. It's just trying to put me in my place and trying to control me and trying to control the whole situation and make more work for me because it was just about making my life more difficult realistically. And it was so difficult all the way around. And yet I still was like going to the Dollar Tree and buying the big white cardboard sheets of, that cardboard paper, and I would
Yeah.
hand draw, yeah, hand draw these calendars for the whole entire month and then put all their names and what exactly the chores that they were going to be doing and got the stickers and
Run
got
my
the
house.
got
Me
the
a
prize
toilet.
basket.
I'll know what to do.
I'm like, did all of it. I tried. I really tried. Like, I tried to do all the healthy things. I was like, okay, guys, like, we're limiting screen time. We're gonna go on walks as a family. We're gonna go to the water. I mean, it's just, I've tried it for so many years, and it's just like, I try to do like the normal or like the healthy dynamics and all the things, and it's hard because like I do have to repeat myself every single day because all of them are neurodivergent and I'm fucking neurodivergent. So I'm trying to like organize myself while I'm trying to organize them, and their brains I want to hyper focus on Roblox and whatever they're doing, and it's like, we're all just trying to figure it all out. But
Yeah.
it's definitely like really, really hard to do everything by yourself. And I genuinely have known my whole life, like, we're not supposed to do everything by ourselves, especially as moms. We're supposed to have community, whether if that's not the grandparents and the sisters and the whatever and the aunties and uncles and the brothers, whatever. If it's not family, then it's got to be community. It's got to be friends who've become family or neighbors coming together and doing, hey, maybe one day you take the girls and you guys do a girls' day. I know because we can't do sleepovers, right? Because you can't trust people. And just like having some sort of like organization of like, let's get all the kids in the community together at the park one day and let's do football. I mean, I don't know, just something. Bring bubbles. Let's do a potluck, whatever. But just things that involve once a month or once every 2 weeks or something, just getting together and getting out of the house and building that, because if we don't start somewhere, it's just going to keep staying the same. And I really feel like, again, I keep hearing it now more than ever, we need to build our foundations of community again.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I'm with you in the fact that it feels like you kind of have this like, I don't know how to do this, but at the same time, like, I know it needs to happen. And um, you know, it's a risk.
And anything is really
Anything is, and especially the meaningful and important things are. But it feels like we don't, there's no model. We're gonna be the ones creating it.
right.
I don't have a model that I can
Hmm.
look at and be like, oh yeah, this is how you do it. I feel like I am having to create something. And I hope that enough of us talk about this, that we start having some ideas, start supporting each other so that we can actually support each other to take those steps. And when we see someone doing it, and there's that collective consciousness, that encouragement that comes with that. Um, I want I want to receive that and I want to give that.
Yeah. I almost wonder if there's some sort of like program. This just came to me, but I'm like, that is part of I'm trying to think of the word, but if we could somehow create some sort of 501(c)(3) organization where it becomes like an official name of like some sort of community development program where it's like gathering families,
Okay.
creating these moms group days and dads group days and teen group days and pre-K and K and up, whatever. But like some sort of family event type thing where
Yeah,
it
I
can
think,
become,
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
you're fine. I was just saying where it could become like a named thing, and then it could become like branched off, and then that way it's like something that people can recognize, like, oh yeah, I heard of that program. You know what I mean? I feel like that would be a lot more taken a lot more seriously than just like moms trying to create
Yeah,
get-togethers and not really
I
know
mean, that's
how
definitely
to
where
do
I'm
it.
at. That's where I'm wanting to go, is to doing a nonprofit. And for
It's
you.
gotta be, yeah, it's gotta be something where then, because then that program can be recognized
Duplicated.
all over. Yeah,
And
exactly. Exactly that.
I love that you said that. That's really encouraging to me because that's been bubbling around inside for a long
Well, it
time.
happened for a reason. It came to me for a
Yeah.
reason.
And I
You should
want
write it down.
to work with people that share that. I do want to do that. I really do.
I would definitely be willing to spend some time and talk with you more on it just because it's something that I've been wanting to, and I know we really need it here. I've been strongly called for so many years to do, like I said, these groups, these mom groups, these women's groups, these goddess circles, these bring your children. I don't care how many kids you have, let the kids hang out while we talk kind of thing. But I mean, even when we moved here and I was not even in a house yet, I said, I'm supposed to do women's circles and gatherings and like have the kids be involved in it. So and I mean like from my heart, because I already am like super busy all the time, but I feel that same calling. So I would definitely be happy to talk with you more on it. I know you don't want to have to do it all yourself, and I know you're busy too, and I
Um,
definitely don't want to have to do it all myself either.
yeah, I think it's felt like where I live, the only real like gatherings that people do is church, and
Yeah.
not religious. And if you have a ton of religious trauma, like I'm just not, that's just not what I want. It's just not, I'm not home there. I don't feel safe. I don't believe the same things, you know? Um, and I really feel that
And that's
we,
okay.
yeah, and there's a lot of people in this camp. There's a lot of people that do want connection and community, but do not want church, you know?
So you're meant to bring that forward. Yeah, so let's talk more. Let's talk more. Let's actually set some time and talk more on that. And
I can't wait.
yeah, yeah, I feel it. I really do feel it, and and I definitely want to tap in more on what we talked about earlier with doing some work together. I
Awesome.
I really feel like we can help each other. So I'm gonna I'm gonna say that we can wrap it up for today, but I want to give you space to leave whatever message you want to leave for people on here.
Um, I think that all of our healing journeys start with reconnecting with ourselves and loving every part of who we are. I don't think that we can heal without that. I think that, part of even the, inner child healing process or any healing process always has to come from the divinity that we are, the divinity in our soul and in our spirit, and honoring that and recognizing and valuing like the importance, the divineness of who we are in this existence that we're in right now. And I think if I could leave any message, it would be to open your heart to love who you are. And that is always going to be a first step to healing, is opening your heart to you. Most of us that have a lot of health issues, that have early childhood trauma, closed our heart to ourselves because we were taught that we were bad. We were taught that we were not safe. We were taught that it
Right.
was safe to exist in the world. We were taught that, um, for me, like I would be beat if I was sick. Um, so like me, even now, right now, dealing with the health issues I'm dealing with at this moment, reminding myself, hey, I love you, even though you're sick, and you're safe and you're valuable, even though you're sick and you're working through this difficult thing right now. Um, those are things that, those are part of my daily work is loving myself, giving myself safety, nourishing myself. And when I do that, then I'm able to bring something. And it's
It's
such a joy to
powerful.
be able to.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's powerful, and a lot of people, most people don't have a cognizant awareness to why they don't feel like they love themselves or know how. And it's a journey. It's a journey. It is a journey, and it will continue to be a journey. But you, you're gonna feel weird. You're gonna feel weird. You're gonna feel,
Yes, right.
what
Does
is
feel weird.
this? It's super weird. It's super weird, but it's not for everyone, but for a lot of people. And so one thing that I will add to that, before we close out, is one thing that helped me is if you have a picture of yourself when you were a kid or a teenager or whatever age you have of yourself, even if it's a baby picture. When I really first started my journey, and trust me, I'm still obviously
I
healing.
feel, I I get it.
But holding that picture of yourself when you were little and looking at it and just like saying, I love you and
Mhm.
I'm gonna protect you
Right.
and
Care of you.
I'm gonna take care of you. I'm gonna watch over you. I have you. And
Safe
if nobody
here.
else does,
You're safe here.
yes. But
Love you.
starting there, loving on you there, and learning to hold you in all the versions of yourself that come up, teenage
Yes.
you, little you, baby you, whatever.
Every freaking version is a part of you, you
That's
know.
one way that I personally started my journey with learning to heal
Yeah.
myself and learning to love myself, is especially as a mom. I was like, okay, well, if I can look at my children who are like an extension of me, right? Like I love them more than fucking anything, right?
Right.
I was like, I got to be able to love me like that too. And I know it's a weird feeling, but it's like, okay, I
It's
gotta
a journey,
like,
but it works. You can get
yeah,
there. You
yeah,
really can. At first, it's super weird and you have lots of feelings because you were literally programmed to hate yourself.
right.
But you can reprogram that.
You can, and it does take work, but it is, and I'm just piggybacking on what you said, it
You're
is
so freaking
extremely
worth it.
important.
You're so worth it.
And
So
when
worth
you do learn to love yourself, even if it's a little bit at a time, when you do feel like you're important enough to heal you, then, and really only then, can you truly love and help other people.
I feel, Jessica, if I can say this,
Yeah,
like you are going to go a lot further.
I got
Um,
chills.
well, just because I just saw it, and you were talking there and I saw it. You're going to go a lot further. That's all that I can say. The energy behind the work that you have done will continue to grow. It will change. It won't look exactly the same. It's like when you plant a plant, like the little seedling doesn't look like the fruit that you get from it, right? It looks totally different, but it's the same thing, right? There's an energy, um, as you were just talking about that process of yours, like this is like the seedling. This is like a little plant. They're like, oh, it's an apple tree. Like it's tiny, gonna grow so much more. And I just saw that. Yeah, I think that you being true to yourself, that is going to continue to be a journey. Um, like because who you are was hidden from you for a long time.
Yeah, it was.
And you're just discovering her, you know. Um, Maybe not just, but it's been,
It's been a journey, but it's been like
yeah,
layer by
it's been,
layer.
but you know, the roots growing is always the hardest part, the unseen part where the roots are growing and taking root.
Especially
That's,
when they were being chopped off when they were trying to grow.
yeah, when that thing kept getting pulled up and you're like, nope, there's still roots down here. I'm gonna come up anyway. Um,
Hmm.
but I feel like you're on a really good path. And it's going to change some, but it's going to, like it's hard for me to explain how I saw this, but I saw it very energetically. It wasn't like a picture like the other thing. I saw it like um, kind of like a color and light thing that just went like this. So I feel like not right away, it's a little bit away, but it's like you're going to keep doing this work and then there's going to be kind of like a sudden, like a lot. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does.
Oh, that makes sense.
Thank you. No, it makes it, yes, it makes perfect sense. Thank you so much. I appreciate that very, very much because I've been asking recently again. I'm like, when is that part gonna happen? So thank you for the
No, it
confirmation.
is. It is. It really is. And it's going to kind of probably a little bit, it's going to catch you by surprise. And at the same time, you're like, God damn, finally. I've been working so hard for so long. You know,
Yeah, I can see that.
you kind of feel it's like,
Like
oh,
Jesus Christ. But yeah, no, really, I'm I'm ready, and then at the same time I know you can never really be ready all the way, so I'm just kind of like
you just
whenever
ride
at
the
this point.
waves, babe. That's part of life is going learning to go with it and not hold on to anything too tightly because then we get stuck.
Yeah, I needed that part. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay.
Regarding
Yeah.
certain situations, especially with my oldest son currently, but
How old
I
is your
am
oldest?
trusting the process. 20, just turned
Oh,
20.
yes. My oldest is going to be 20 this year.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a it's a journey. It's a journey for
It
sure.
is a journey. And all right, I'll let you go.
We'll talk more.
Yes, ma'am.
We'll talk more on that too. But
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
You're very welcome.
Really, from my soul. Thank you. From little me also.
Yeah. Little you is, I just want to hug her.
She needs it very much.
Yeah. Like the feeling of hopelessness around her is really strong.
Mm.
She just
And my
needs
middle name's Hope, which
really, she just needs encouraged, like to just be spoken to, like really, like you've got this. You are strong, but it's also safe to be weak sometimes and to need other people and to be supported. And um, she just, it's almost like you can't go overboard in saying good things, just like you were talking about looking at the picture, like looking at this 7-year-old child part of you the same way. Just you can't like, you can't be too nice, if that makes sense, or too loving, or too encouraging, or too
yeah,
like be effusive in your praise of her, be effusive in your acceptance of her, be effusive in your love and
she's
just
in a deep
being
deficit.
so what?
She's in a deep deficit.
Yeah, yeah. And just being so happy that she's with you again.
Okay.
Um, and there might be a lot of stuff stirred up from that. And
Mm-hmm.
just be willing to love on yourself like you would if it was your little 7-year-old there.
gonna have to be a practice, but I will keep your words in mind and I will do my best.
And that's exactly what you got to do. You'll do it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too. See you later, everybody.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.